Next, we move on to specification number 4, which asks us to explain the pupil reflex in terms of light intensity and antagonistic action of circular and radial muscles in the iris. The pupil reflex protects the eye by changing the pupil size based on light intensity. In dim light, radial muscles contract and circular muscles relax, dilating the pupil to let in more light. In bright light, circular muscles contract and radial muscles relax, constricting the pupil to reduce light entry. The pupil reflex is an automatic, involuntary action that regulates the size of the pupil in response to changes in light intensity. This reflex helps the eye control how much light enters, protecting the retina and optimizing vision in different lighting conditions. The reflex works through the antagonistic action of two sets of muscles in the iris, the radial muscles and the circular muscles. When one set of muscles contracts, the other relaxes, allowing the pupil to either enlarge or shrink. This coordination ensures that the pupil adjusts quickly and efficiently to changing light levels. In dim light, the radial muscles contract while the circular muscles relax. This causes the pupil to dilate, allowing more light to enter the eye and improving vision in low light conditions. In bright light, the circular muscles contract and the radial muscles relax. This results in pupil contraction, reducing the amount of light entering the eye and protecting the retina from potential damage. Through this antagonistic muscle action, the pupil reflex maintains optimal vision and safeguards the sensitive light receptors in the retina. First, let's discuss the pupil reflex in dim light. The pupil reflex is an automatic response that regulates the amount of light entering the eye. In dim light, it functions to allow maximum light intake. When light intensity decreases, photoreceptors in the retina detect this change and send signals to the brain, which coordinates the response in the iris muscles. In low light conditions, the radial muscles of the iris contract while the circular muscles relax. This antagonistic action causes the pupil to widen, a process called pupil dilation. By increasing the pupil's diameter, more light enters the eye and reaches the retina. This dilation improves vision in dark or low light environments, allowing us to see more clearly. In short, under dim light, the radial muscles contract, the circular muscles relax, and the pupil dilates to let in as much light as possible. On the other hand, in bright light, the photoreceptors in the retina detect the higher intensity of light in the environment. They send signals to the brain, which then directs the iris muscles to respond and protect the eye from excessive light. During this reflex, the radial muscles of the iris relax while the circular muscles contract. This antagonistic action causes the pupil to constrict, reducing its diameter. By narrowing the pupil, less light enters the eye, helping to protect the delicate cells of the retina from damage. Pupil constriction also enhances visual clarity by limiting scattered light, allowing us to see comfortably in bright conditions. In short, in bright light, the circular muscles contract, the radial muscles relax, and the pupil constricts to control light entry and safeguard the eye. At last, to understand this more clearly, consider this comparison of pupil responses to different light intensities. The pupil reflex is an involuntary mechanism that adjusts pupil size to protect the retina and optimize vision. In bright light, the circular muscles of the iris contract while the radial muscles relax. This causes the pupil to become narrow or constricted, allowing less light to enter the eye and preventing retinal damage. In dim light, the circular muscles relax and the radial muscles contract. This leads to pupil dilation, or widening, which lets more light enter the eye and improves vision in low light conditions. This antagonistic action between the radial and circular muscles ensures that the eye receives the right amount of light, maintaining optimal function of the retina.